What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Classic Quest podcast. This is the show where we break down the hip-hop albums track by track, looking for classics. The kinds of albums we talk about are things such as 2 Chainz, Dope Don't Sell Itself, the brand new project released February 4th by 2 Chainz, because, you know, Dope Don't Sell Itself. He's breaking it down like right there. My name is Holden Stephan Roy.
I am your lady friend, Bonnie.
And I am Chris Chrome. What up, guys?
What up, everybody? And we are doing this live on Twitch, twitch.tv/BehindThatSuit, where we will be listening in full to the songs that are in 2 Chainz's Dope Don't Sell Itself project. Sorry for the keyword plugging. It's what YouTube game be like. If you want to watch it with the songs, come join us Sundays, 12 p.m. EST, twitch.tv/BehindThatSuit. And in the future, you can watch it on YouTube without the songs, and you can just watch us cut ahead. On that note, we like to start off every review letting y'all, the watchers, know where we are coming from with our familiarity and preferences towards the artists we talk about, because we understand you probably really like 2 Chainz if you were watching a video this long about 2 Chainz. Christopher, tell us your familiarity coming into it.
I've been a 2 Chainz fan for a while, since his album Based on a True Story. I think that's the one with Bands of Maker Dance and Juicy J and all that. That was like part of my high school years, teenage years, late teenage years before turning an adult. And I've always liked what he did. I've always enjoyed 2 Chainz. I've never really like had an issue with what he did. So when I heard when you told me that we're doing this project, and I started kind of looking through and seeing some shit, I was like, cool, this is going to be another 2 Chainz project. I don't know. I kind of go to 2 Chainz expecting 2 Chainz to do what he does. I don't really have like high expectations or low expectations. It's like, I know what I'm going to get from 2 Chainz. So
right.
That's kind of how I feel.
And you, Bonnie?
About what I know him.
So for me, like I don't know how much of his actual music I've listened to. Like I can't name any 2 Chainz songs like off the top of my head. So I'm sure I've heard him, but like I don't know definitively what I've heard. But I have definitely, you know, taken notice of him on like the interviews that he does, like discussing like on YouTube, like that he like where he discusses like, I don't know, new inventions or whatever, and he like
the most
talks
expensive
to people.
shit.
I fucking love the most expensive shit.
I'm like, I don't even know what the show was called. I just see it. I'm like, cool. Like, let's watch it. Like, he's always
everybody
into, like,
saw the weed
cool
episode.
stuff.
Okay, who didn't watch and go fucking
Bro,
$400,000 blunts?
Bro, the episode where he drinks the coffee made from monkey poop. That's the one I wanted to check out.
Episode. I mean, he has like, I mean, it's a great job. Like, you get to like try all these like fancy ass bougie like items.
Yeah, it's cool. Amazing.
But yeah, I mean, he just seems like a cool guy. That's what I know about him.
That's fair. For me, it all started with a particular song. It was the one that's like, "Birthday, it's your birthday." When I die, you know, because I was listening to that song, and first of all, he's got bars in that track, right? Like he's Kanye's goofy on that birthday song, but like actually, like 2 Chainz is pretty witty. And I thought it was really enjoyable. And I thought about the premise of that song, and I said that would be a really desirable birthday present, more than any material possessions. And I really agreed philosophically with what they were desiring in that song. It is what it is. And I really got on the vibe of it. And then every time I heard 2 Chainz since, he was just tight. Like, he's really, really fucking good. And then you go into the story of Titty Boy, and you learn all about all of his like history, and you're like, damn, 2 Chainz' career is pretty illustrious. But while we're on it, we did do an album review. Well, I think I did it by myself, but I went to go figure out which one it was, right? So this is this project. We're just pulling up the Spotify here to like exemplify a little point of his fucking work ethic. Then in 2021, there's Goated by 2 Chainz. There's True Religion, whatever. I guess this is an anniversary edition, fine, a re-release. Then there's So Help Me God, which is a 2020 project. No Face, No Case, which is another project. I'm like, what the fuck is all this 2 Chainz shit? All to get to the one that I reviewed, which was Rap or Go to the League, which this is where I got sold on 2 Chainz. Like, this has fucking great songs. Like, I said is one of the best songs I heard that year. I don't even care what anyone says. Like, it's so good. And then the fact that he worked with Ariana and they both touched the fucking Sound of Music at the same time. Like, 2 Chainz is, like, prolifically good. Like, he knows all kinds of music, and he does it like a fucking professional. Like, it's really actually like everybody should be paying more attention to 2 Chainz is my feeling every time I look into the 2 Chainz sphere. Plus, what's not dope about 2 Chainz? Like, ultimately, his whole brand is kind of awesome and approachable. And, like, the fucking trap museum he opened, all the different things he does. It's like, man, he's such a high...
TI.
Oh, maybe that was T.I. I could be wrong.
Trap Museum is TI.
Okay,
I watched the documentary.
I apologize. I fucked up. But he still is involved in a lot of things in this variety of culture building, elevation shit. And I really like that about 2 Chainz. And I think it's really cool. Anyway, that's
what's also cool. Just before we go into what's also cool, it's like, what's not cool about 2 Chainz? And when you say that sentence, it's like, what's literally not cool about having 2 chains? Like the physical stuff.
That's hilarious.
Just think of that. So just want to point that out.
I don't know if I'd look cool with 2 Chainz though. I feel like I'd look like I'm trying. I would personally look like I'm trying too hard with 2 Chainz. I'm like a 1 chain guy. I digress. What do y'all think of the title and the cover?
Go ahead, Chris.
So the title itself, Dope Don't Sell Itself, I think is pretty straightforward. I was like, that makes sense. You have to be somebody who's going to be moving the product, who's going to be, taking those risks and trying to make that big risk, big bank type stuff. Not really much to say. I feel like it's in line with a lot of what I've heard him talk about, in line with a lot of what he's done before. So that's always cool. I actually kind of like the photo of the project more than the title, just in my opinion, because it's just super straightforward. It's super simple. It shows that he's got money. It shows that he's moving the product. It really just kind of all ties in together. Pretty much it. Not really much else.
And where are you at with it? Your lady friend Bonnie.
So yeah, I mean, Dope doesn't sell itself, and that is a fact. And people need it and want it, and he's there to provide. He's just doing his thing. And as for the cover, I like it. I think it's cool. It's dark, but it has the brightness. So he's holding a shoebox full of money, and he's also dripped out Alamax, and he's also holding a joint. So that's, there's a lot of information that you're getting just from this one motion, I guess, of him holding this box. I think it's a Nike. It's supposed to be a Nike shoebox, but instead of a store sticker or a Nike sticker on the side, it has his name and the album name and information about the album itself on the sticker. So I thought that was a smart way of including that on his album cover. And then on the back, I also checked that out. It's a bright orange color, and it kind of looks like a baking soda orange box, Arm & Hammer. And it has a measuring cup, and then it has what looks like the nutrition information on food, but it has drug facts. And so I don't know, it's cool. He's he's just doing his thing. So I liked it.
I just realized I could zoom in on the picture for the sake of the video, and it would have been a lot cleaner.
There you go.
But yeah, so I'm way more into the title. I think y'all did an eloquent job of describing anything that could be communicated in this image, and I agree with everything y'all said, but I put no thought into it. I actually didn't really inspect it till I kind of overlooked it. But it didn't catch me, so I guess that's all it is. I mean, it was clearly identifiable when it's small. It's easy to see it as an avatar compared to other albums, and that's where my brain went with it. But I love the title, The Dope Don't Sell Itself. To me, that's a metaphor for life. It's just everything. It's as much as, yes, I believe 2 Chainz is directly speaking on this subject, it's also yo, your music's not going to sell itself. Yo, that idea you have in your head, it's not going to build itself. That plan you want to make, ain't nobody going to do it for you. And it's almost inherently stating, look, nobody's going to do shit for you in your life. So effectively, you just kind of need to go out there and go do it yourself and get it done. And kind of shut the fuck up with the excuses and push it. Dope don't sell itself. If you want to make the guap, so to speak, you must sell the dope or whatever it is. And I agree with Lil Alice in the comments. It really is in line with his overall discography's titling. Like, so it also fits into his bigger brand. So I think it's a really great title because it does fit into the overall brand, but it also just communicates a really powerful mission statement. Like, dope don't sell itself. What do you think is going to happen? You think you're just going to buy the brick and it's going to say, you know, like, I don't sell dope, but it's not that different in concept to selling anything in life. You know, you have a service you want to sell, shit ain't going to sell itself. You either build it or they will not come, my peeps. That's what it is. So I love that. In 4 words, it communicates so fucking much and it's so powerfully and so succinctly that it's an awesome album title. Cover's cool. Anyway,
Cover's cool.
Whatever. I'm not a cover person. On that note, we should start the listening portion where we will interact with you more, and bet it back is how we start the process. All right, your lady friend Bonnie, what do you think about Bet It Back by 2 Chainz?
Well, I mean, it's kind of starts off like the whole album starts off with like some guy kind of like shouting about like a bathroom in a studio and something or another. So I'm like, it just kind of sounds like you like recorded like an audio of somebody else giving somebody else shit. Like it just kind of sounds like that. So I thought that was like kind of funny. Like the beat is like super dope, and like I love the way that he raps on it. It's like, you know, really cool. And like right away it had me like, do I like trap music? I'm like, I think I might. Like, I mean, we'll see.
Well, Bonnie, pretty girls do like trap music.
Nice.
So yes. And so yeah, I mean, it's about, you know, drugs or whatever, and like his love for distributing them. Like that's what I was thinking. And like that he's like ahead of everybody. He's stylish. He looks good for his age, you know, like, you know, he's in it. He's, you know, he's cool. My favorite lines were "Pussy so good, hit the lotto. She gave me big head like a rhino, big head." And I thought that was just funny. So yeah, I mean, I gave this song a 5 on 5.
Y'all know rhinos got big heads.
Yeah. Like, I really dig it, and I think he did a really great job, and like you definitely get like a sense of like who he is and what he's about. He's very like clear, he's mature sounding, he's like articulate, he makes dope music. It's dope. I think it's cool.
All right, Chris. Because we had a little pre-conversation coming in that we won't repeat, but I'm curious to know where Chris is coming in with this.
Hold on. Fuck.
He's drinking the water.
Oh, man.
Too stressed.
No, so starting off with the intro, I do like this kind of like seems like a memory to kind of give you like the atmosphere that we're at, kind of being like in like this trap housey vibe, this studio vibe,
right?
Kind of giving you like
awesome.
how it is, right? Like it's really cool. It's really cool. The verse 2 Chainz kills it. I love his flow on it. I love how he dances around the beat. It's super dope. But I guess
You're not a
I
pretty
don't know.
girl.
I didn't really. I was like, this is God, I'm gonna struggle this whole fucking time. So I like it because it's 2 Chainz, and I was like, yeah, this is what it's supposed to be, and I'm feeling it, and you're bopping and you're vibing and everything. But in terms of just like overall song, I was just like, okay, like it just is what it is. The beat's really good. I do enjoy that. I've never thought that 2 Chainz ever picked like whack beats or ever had whack beats, so they're always kind of fire. Like never really had an issue with that. And what I also got was like he's kind of showing you where he came from and where he is now, and kind of like a little bit of intro into the journey of like what he's been doing. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I don't have much to actually say.
You said a whole bunch,
but I gave this a 4 on 5.
I appreciate how you're not much to stays a whole lot. So what we learned is Bonnie's a pretty girl, Chris is not a pretty girl, and it turns out I'm also a pretty girl because this shit be banging. I really love this song. This is an amazing way to start an album. I honestly, cause this intro skit, it gets brought back. It's not vapid, all right? Like it creates a sort of cohesiveness to the album. Where I'll comment more at the end, but in case you don't watch it, it ties it in like this whole project's like one rowdy studio session inside of this trap house where it's like they fucking dead ass. You can't go to those rooms. There's shit back there. You can't go there unless you can go to the bathroom and then you come right back to the fucking studio room. And it's like, oh shit, I've never recorded in a place like that. It's never been my life. But it's like an ambiance that I think is really cool, and it creates the project. And then he goes into talking about his shit. And as an intro goes, it's creative, it's clever, but it also kind of creates a more movie-esque feel for the project because of the closure on how they literally end the project. Like the dude stopped recording, and it kind of ties back into this, which will obviously expand on them, but just in case you don't get that far. With that, the bars are ridiculous. Like in terms of, I think Bonnie tapped onto it. It's not just like flexing. It's this personality that oozes through. Like nobody else can really write this shit because when you Google 2 Chainz, it looks like this shit, right? Like 2 Chainz is a guy whose brand is just empirically $1 million shit now. It's like, he's kind of hit this place, but then you go back to it when he's just titty boy moving weight and shit back in the day. Then the fact that he did his ghostwriting and was so far behind the scenes, then he comes through and does all this shit. And when you have all this layer of context into this guy's journey to going from this person in one phase of life to being one of the most prolific musicians in the game today, and I really believe that his output is ridiculous and it's consistent. Like the dude worked with Run the Jewels and shit. Like he's anywhere he wants to be. And that's incredible. Like that's a power where like, people don't get how influential 2 Chainz, I believe, is and is going to continue gaining power in because he's just cool. And then he does shit like talks about it, like the drug game and all these things in his bars. But to me, this just be like, I grinded really fucking hard to get to where I am today. And I'm saying this from a position where I do make $1 million a week. And I talk on a track that's $1 million just to speak. Like, that's power. Like, don't you want to get paid to just say this shit? And all of it's like, inherently flexy. It's really like empowerment shit. It's like if you work hard, you get the rewards. That is the core point of this song. But it just sounds so dope. It just sounds so fucking amazing. And every line is crisp. Every ad-lib fits perfectly. The beat is just really bumping. The way they cut parts of the beat so that you can just get ready for drops and shit. The way every piece of this song has been combed over to make an amazingly great experience should not be overlooked. And I think it's a really well-constructed track. And I really enjoyed listening to it. And I could go back to this, and it's definitely like a 4.5. Like, it's hard to call it like the most amazing song I ever heard in my life, but like, honestly, it made me happy, put me in a vibe, and I'm like, I'm ready for the rest of this track. Plus, given the number of features, I think it's a very, very wise choice to start off the album saying, I'm already rich and I already did it. Because I believe that ties into the bigger point of what's about to happen with the rest of the project, and it's worth pointing that out now. Because he's saying, I don't need all the people that we're about to talk about, and then the rest of the album is just laced with features, right? So but that's on purpose in a positive way. It's not like a negative thing. It's tied into, look at where he positions himself in his life. What is left to do but to give, And that's what makes 2 Chainz pretty fucking extra incredible, considering the rest of this project is like introducing people like me to names I would never have otherwise honestly listened to. So yeah, strong start to me. Pop music is what comes next. So yeah, as we were just establishing, if we wanted a template for what we perceive as stripper music for the people to pop the booty to, this is an excellent template for you to go as an example to provide for people if you're struggling in the future. Chris, tell us how you feel about this song. I'm so excited to hear what you think.
It's good. Dude, I don't know. Okay, so the first time I was running through the project, and then I was like, let me go and check the music video out. I checked the music video out. Beat comes in. I was like, okay, this is dope. This is hard. This is 2 Chainz beat. Then the chorus comes in, and I was like, that's cool. That's fine. Whatever. And then On the first listen, 2 Chainz is just like, pop that shit. And then follows up with the next line. And then I'm just like, no. Like, why?
What?
I got,
Anyway.
I was, okay. So my first thought, I was like, why do we let 2 Chainz get away with like saying these like simple things? Like these
Super
simple lines. But then like, I went through the whole thing in my head and I was like, this is 2 Chainz. This is what he does. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say about 2 Chainz verse. It's solid. It felt like he literally just kind of went insert verse, and that was it to me. Okay. A little bit. That's what I have to say for 2 Chainz on this one. Moneybagg.
Let me ask you a question on that simple things thing. Okay, let's just stop here for a second. Can you do this? Can you write a chorus or a verse with that few words that actually says shit while being hype? Like
I could put a lot of time and effort and work into it to do.
I would love to see you write I want to see you write a stripper anthem then, Chris. I want to see that shit. Nah, bro, I want to see you write a stripper anthem then. If you think it's that simple, so then you can't call it simple.
Fair enough. Hey, listen, that's just how my opinion. That doesn't mean I'm right. But Moneybagg Yo was actually really impressive.
That was for the comment section, y'all. I speak sometimes for y'all.
Yep.
I saw somebody typing that comment, bro.
I'm gonna die this review. Okay. No, but Moneybagg Yo was actually really dope. I really liked his flow on it. I felt like he had more just like control with his verse. I felt that was super cool. A lot of it was like, we appreciate you being like a boss bad bitch. If you're like that, we're gonna take care of you. We'll give you nice things and like just have fun. And it's really dope. It's a dope track. Like it just kind of does what it's supposed to do. And I was like, this is it. Yeah, no, 4 on 5. Like,
all right, Chris, we established at the beginning of this review that Bonnie and I are pretty girls and Chris is not a pretty girl. All right, Bonnie, how do you feel about this one?
I mean, this is just male Iggy. Like, of course I'm gonna love this.
Facts.
This is what it is. Like, this is just a stripper song about shaking your ass to get guys to buy you stuff. Like, it's real pussy power shit. Like, I really appreciated this song. Yeah, I definitely wanted to like, let Zelmanel know this is the kind of thing that, for stripper type beats. So yeah, I mean, I really liked like Beatking. I thought he had a really dope voice. I thought Moneybagg Yo had like a really great flow. Like everybody here is like fun, good. They all had a great time. It's just like another great track. So I really liked it, and go female empowerment. So I gave it a 4.75.
I really dug this shit. There were a few bars that I thought were like super nifty, right? Like, I mean, Beatking's verse just was fly. I don't know about the whole everything philosophically. It's just what it is, yo. When 2 hands are used to eat the dick, that is a man that knows his blowjobs, alright? Usually people describe blowjob bars, and I'm like, have you ever gotten head, bro? Because that sounds like a terrible-ass blowjob, what you are describing. That does not sound like a terrible-ass blowjob. So I appreciated that. And then the chorus is just amazing. But what I thought was super nifty was pop that pussy on your partner. I'm like, that's an interesting line, right? Because it's less like detached. It's more like, nah, people are like actually connected, whether it's your business arrangement, your sugar daddy, whatever. It's not just go be a hoe. It's like pop your pussy on somebody that deserved to have that pussy popped on it. And those are the subtle differences, Chris, that make me go, this is not fucking simple, and I do not believe you could easily replicate this shit. As an example, let us talk about 2 Chainz' verse, because apparently there's nothing intelligent written here, and I have to debunk this myth. Pop it, pop that shit. Evidently, that's pretty straightforward. They're talking about the pussy that's getting popped, and that's fine. It's a beautiful thing. Make that buy you something, then say you bought that shit. Bro, that's a flex bar. That's like, yo, let's not, like, people are so stupid, they're going to believe whatever they're going to believe anyway. So why don't you take advantage of this? Leverage your social media marketing, get that clout up, and go ahead and get your bag. Make that person buy you something and then say you bought it. It's smarter than saying he bought it for you. It's actually game, Christopher. Say you stand up on the button when I found a plug. I don't really know how to break that bar down. It just sounded dope. Anyway, Moving on, when the friend comes through, record me while I pop my shit. Friend said, okay, friend, make that money, bitch. Now we're going away from slut shaming. We're saying when your friend is involved with OnlyFans, treat it more like a homie on the rap hustle and shit and be supportive of that. If she needs you to film that and help her out, you are actually helping somebody finance their dreams and create equity and wealth for their future offsprings and shit. So it's actually really a powerful bar, Chris. So this is why I felt like when you said, why do we let him get away with what? Empowering women? Bro. He should be doing these. No? Isn't that what we should all be doing, Christopher?
Right.
Anyway. And then, it's the full name. Sometimes we got to be like that. You know, this is how it be. I've known him for like 7, 8 years, right?
Flashes of being called Christopher Crow.
8 years I've known him. He's 7 years younger than me. Just so y'all know, Chris is 7 years younger than me. Okay, so y'all might think we're closer in age. It's more like that. I don't have a lot to say about Moneybagg's verse at the same level of intellectualism, but I feel like it's totally in line, and it's just maybe showing the male perspective. Like 2 Chainz is saying, you can get this bag, and Moneybagg's like, I got money. I'm happy to give you this bag. And what I thought was super cool was, give me sloppy toppy, you might get a watch from wifey, as though there's a consensual arrangement with his female partner that allows him to go into this situation since she's co-signing it, showing that it's not nefarious lies and backstabbing, but it's actually an agreed upon arrangement that you monogamous middle class Puritan people should not be judging. Thank you. Intellectualism in this pussy popping song, Chris. You weren't expecting that shit. I don't even think 2 Chainz, if he sees this, was expecting that shit. It is what it is. Fucking 5 on 5. This shit's a banger. I think we can talk about Kingpen Ghostwriter. Chris, how do you feel about this one?
I like this one, actually. I like this. This is where I was like, okay, this is hard. The beat is more aggressive. That's more my type of sound. I like how 2 Chainz is like a little bit more speeded up on the chorus. The way he kind of flows with that was cool. What stood out to me was that he's saying like pesos, pesos stack, which kind of signals to me that like you're making money other places. You have like other businesses or other things out in other countries, places that are just not in the States, which is cool. I like how it's more just more that grind, more that this is what we came here to do. This is what we are doing. I don't know, man. Like it was cool, and it was consistent and kept with the theme. What I thought I understood was my fleet orange and black, and then my brain went to orange is the new black, which I thought was like a cool kind of like line to connect, where he's like chilling with, you know, convicts or whatever like that. That was kind of cool. I like the didn't have
say word. His cars are just fucking orange and black.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, that was it. I like the didn't have no AC on. All we had was OnlyFans, which is cool, symbolizing the grind of OnlyFans and then literally only having fans. That was nice.
Bars.
But like, it was dope.
Hold on. Does that line also mean he was pimping?
I mean, it could.
All we had was OnlyFans, like it's a hot room, but you fucking flipping. Woo! Anyway.
I like how he, got inspiration from Eazy-E. Gangster views like are like Eazy-E. That's cool. Giving that shout out, moonwalking like Billie Jean. That was also cool. Kind of giving these like, I guess where he listens, like the type of music he listens to, and like just what he does. And then we get back into the chorus. That's still solid. I still felt like it was still smooth after his verse and going to there. Little Baby did the little baby thing, I guess. Gucci shorts, Gucci socks showing. I hit Derek for a box of ones. I mean, whatever. I don't know. I was like, Little Baby did what the little baby does, and it's all like, I've got money, I'm rich, and we're hard. So that's really what it is. It fit. It was nice. I like how they both kind of sound together. Like it was interesting to see like when you get the 2 Chainz and like his voice and how he kind of raps and does his thing, and then Lil Baby just. So my thing is it's the voices of some of the features that I have trouble kind of getting past at first. I have to like really get into it. So that kind of like
welcome to old man hip hop, Chris. This is what being an
Right.
old head. That's what being an old head is like. Welcome. It's this side of the 20s. It starts.
No, fair enough, fair enough. But I'm also like trying to be as open minded as possible because like I ain't gonna sit here and be like, nah, fuck Lil Baby, like that's crazy because he's great and he's doing great things. So all respect to that. Yeah, no, the song's dope. I like this. I actually gave this one a 4.2. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, I feel kind of similar as to like what Chris was saying. Like particularly about like Lil Baby. Like I did like his verse, but I don't know, like I just found that his flow was good and it was crazy and it was intense, but I just found that maybe it was too spastic sounding against 2 Chainz. Like he's just very like blah, 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 Lil Baby blah, blah, blah. I mean, obviously I can't do it, but like he's just a lot next to 2 Chainz. But anyways, this is just about like
we were famous. That's already viral on Twitter.
Like this is just about like some of the experiences that he's like gone through, things he's seen. He's got a tight flow. Like it's not a bad song. And when I looked up to see like what songs 2 Chainz has written for other people, if he is Kingpen ghostwriter.
Say word.
So there is an entire like I have got a list of 83 songs, including some of his own, which I mean
it's got a whole
sense.
category on 2 Chainz.
He's written for Drake. He has written for Kanye. He has written for Lil Pump.
Y'all check out
Chance the Rapper. Like he has just written for so many people, like Sierra. I thought I saw something about Christina Aguilera. Like there's just like so many songs. Like there's a Jessie J song. Like there's just like a whole bunch of songs that he's written for. And so he's just making like residuals off of their success because that's dope. So I like that, that he's talking about like this like, money move that he's made, and it's really cool. So yeah, I mean, I gave it the same pretty much. Like I gave it a 4 point.
Has songs that he's definitely written on there, but because I'm like a couple of those songs.
It says it there.
But he's definitely
says in brackets.
He's definitely
I'm just saying like he's written for other people, like big people. And I think that that's really cool. I gave it a 4.25 on 5 because like in terms of the song, it was okay. Like it wasn't my favorite one, but it's not bad. And then just the whole thing with like him and Lil Baby, but maybe that's just me being old.
I mean, I haven't listened to a lot of Lil Baby. Obviously, I listened to DaBaby and Lil Baby because who didn't listen to DaBaby and Lil Baby on that song? And you're like, this is a real thing happening. Grown-ass men be using the baby shit. Then you get past that. If you're like me, you get past it and like, whatevs. I don't really give a shit. Call yourself what you want. In a world of people with pronouns and shit, we should be all comfortable with that because everybody be calling everybody what they want anyway. It's not like government names is cool in the sphere I'm in. It's not like...
That's true.
Anyway, that's just a side tangential idea. But I was really impressed by Lil Baby, if we want to start there. I thought his flow was ridiculous. I was actually sitting there going, most of the people I know in real life who rap could not do a flow that tight if their fucking life depended on it. The melody game he brings, the actual way he knows how to bring the musicality into his verse, where it really is like a lot of these guys are pulling from rock and other genres of music and combining it into a trap flow to bring, I guess that's what melodic trap's been. But like when you really sit there and listen to it and you try to write it and you actually try to write melody and like turn the actual scale of notes into a thing, and you have to start worrying about, do your notes resolve? Does your like melody actually make sense for the melody of the beat and shit? It's like, nah, there's layers to this that a lot of people I think just kind of undersell. And what I heard just here was that Lil Baby's a master at this shit. His flow fit like an instrument on this beat. His bars are actually pretty decent. It's not like my fucking cup of tea in terms of shit I would be going into super intellectualism. But it's braggadocio and fucking flamboyance put in a way that makes sense for the album it's on. He sounds great next to 2 Chainz. He just sounds like wet 2 Chainz, and I really like that. And then the other side of it is,
wet 2 Chainz.
Well, that's the kind of the effect they use. It's wet. That's what they make it drippy. It's like a wet feeling, like auto-tune reverby shit.
I guess, yeah.
Versus dry vocals, which is more like in the realms of not being super heavy on effects. And these are just like stylistic choices and shit. So it's like when you can, okay, when you've actually gone through the process of making songs, I suppose you learn how to take the filters off of the voice, and you can hear this guy's raw vocals are fucking like actually hitting the notes and shit. Like, he's not a bad vocalist at all. So I could see why it's not your cup of tea, but like, he's really talented. And the writing, whatever, it's not my style of preference. It's not what I would go to, but there's nothing on this that's whack. It's just braggadocio, and it fits really nicely. The chorus that 2 Chainz brings is one of my fucking favorites. Like, I'm just at a point where I'll be real. I'm on a money grind. All I give a shit about is how to make that milli right now, because it will allow me to do what I want in life. So when I hear shit like money coming in a hurry, and I love his overuse, right? Like, money coming, and it's coming in a hurry, so he doubles the word. I'm really into clever uses of shit like that. To me, that's like advanced writing, to be super repetitious but not be repetitious. And then people on the run eating like Norris, sound like a kingpin but running from me. And it just feels like he's a boss man with this giant empire of shit and distribution that he has going on, and the results of it are what they're spitting in their verses. Like, I kind of would love to have more orange and black in my life and shit. I don't have a lot more to comment on the bars. Like, what am I supposed to say about a lot of it? It's just pretty blatant for what it is, but it's dope. Like, honestly, people like lines like moonwalking like Billie Jean. That's a cool ass line. It's a pretty great vibe, and you can break it down, you know, like, I'm not going to, but like, it kind of gives you a little bit to think about of his personality and the way you want to see him, where it's more than just, okay, I bought Maybachs, you know, like, there's more to it than that. Anyway, I give it a 4.25. It's not my favorite song on the album, but the title is my favorite part. It's a flex. Kingpen, Ghostwriter, Google that shit. It almost has nothing to do with this song, except that it's like the byproduct of that grind is this song, and that's fire. So it's a really great beat. All of it's dope. I prefer the stripper side of it, to be honest, but I do appreciate this side of it. This one definitely feels like it's more for the men, but it's good that we're kind of having that, like, all kinds of vibes, because really what you're going to see on this project is how 2 Chainz fits with fucking everyone. And that, my friends, is outstanding. All right. How do you feel about this one, Bonnie? Let's switch it up.
So this one is like, you know, a bit like calmer sounding, like it's not as like energetic, you know what I mean? And it is just sort of like, you know, him like talking about like, you know, floating around, taking care of their business, doing what they got to do. You know, I think, so for me, like I had to look up like who the Tony, because he kept saying Tony. So then I was like, who the heck's Tony? And I looked and I was like, maybe it's the producer, not the producer. And then I looked into it, and apparently it's either, maybe you guys can help me out. It's either his alter ego and like that character, or it is a general name for everybody who's in like the hustling game, drug selling, pimping kind of game. So I'm not sure which one it is, but
let us know in the comments though, because I would love to know too, because I didn't even Google it.
There you go.
I'm gonna go with his lifestyle, what he does, and like kind of what he shows to be. Tony Montana, if I'm not mistaken, would be the guy. And isn't that like some big kingpin drug dealer dude?
Bro, do you not know who Tony Montana is?
Yeah.
I mean, that is.
Have you not
exactly
seen
who I
Scarface?
thought it was. No, that's exactly who I thought it was, and that's why I'm saying it. I think when he's saying Tony, he's referring to himself as like, Tony Montana.
Yes. I mean, I got that, like, the subtext of it, but, like, is Tony his alter ego or the collective name? And it's spelled with an I, like... and that's a good point, as Almanal pointed out. It's Tony, not, like, Tony. This is why, like, let the comment people who know this shit tell us in the future, and we'll update y'all, because clearly we don't know.
Anyways, so that's what I wanted to mention. I like that, like, you know, that he does throughout like the song. You know, I think it's kind of cool. And Roddy Ricch, I don't know anything about him, but he sounds like a good kid. He just sounds nice.
Good
he just
kid,
sounds,
pimping up the mansion.
You know, he sounds like a younger guy, you know, doing what he's got to do, you know, whatever. You know, and he's at the top, but he's like far from like the drug game now, but like, you know, he made his success and he's kind of looking back and being like, yeah, I did that. And I like the little speech at the end that he gives where he's kind of like talking about like hustling, being like in your blood, being like in your DNA. And then it's like part of like your genetic buildup, and either you have the hustle, you know, within you, or you don't. And like that's kind of it. And so I think that that's kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was nice. I gave this one a 4.35 on 5.
How do you feel, Mr. Christopher?
I like this one. I like how it does. It's a little softer, a little more kind of toned down a bit from a lot of the energy that we've been getting. But I like how there is this like we've put in the work, we've grinded, we made it this far, but this is still the lifestyle we're living. We're still chasing the next purchase, the next Rari, the next, the next bag. Like that's never going to change. And I like how they're like embracing that hustler mentality in this track. Roddy Ricch, I like. I mean, I know Roddy Ricch because of that song, The Box. So that was cool to see him on something different. And he holds it down. I thought he held it down really nice. I felt like he did really good on the chorus and kind of gave that like not really contrast, but a nice blend to the softness to the song, which was cool. But I mean, it seemed pretty straightforward. Like we put in the work, we really did what we had to do, and we're still gonna keep doing it because that's just who we are. And following it up at the end where 2 Chainz is kind of addressing like about the hustler mentality, or hustling is hereditary. It really kind of pulls that all together where it's like, yo, you either are this or you're not. Like you either have it in your blood, in your DNA, that this is what you're supposed to do, and every moment of your life you're just hustling and going for the goal and trying to make sure that it's always on that. Now I like how he said you can't buy motivation, which kind of stuck with me a bit, where it's like there's a lot of things you can buy in this world, and there's a lot of things that like money can change, let's say, in a way, but you can't use money for like can't actually buy motivation. You can tempt it with wanting to chase the bag and stuff, but you need to have that motivation inside you to do this shit. So that was cool. I gave this a 4.25.
Awesome. So here we are with an update from Lil Alice, who Googled. And that is an amazing thing to do sometimes when you know how. And I'm not saying we don't know how, but it's harder to do when you're live and talking. But in an interview with Apple Music, the Atlanta rapper, also known as 2 Chainz, explained why the song called Tony. Tony talks in third person a lot, said 2 Chainz, so it's a conceptual. Tony derives from the neighborhood I'm from, Old National. Everybody who sold powder or anything like that, their name was Tony. So it's more of a catch-all, which was one of the 2 things. And it is not Scarface. Genius pass revoked. Just throwing it out there. It's.
I mean, I would definitely love to argue that they're probably calling them Tony in relation to being Scarface.
Are you sure? Are you sure? like if 2 Chainz is here and he looks you straight in the face and he's like,
you're right.
And I'm saying,
if 2 Chainz says,
I'm not trying to be a shit, y'all. I'm just saying when you're talking about stuff, it's good to know what you know, and you don't know, and I don't know, and none of us know. So let's not act like we know.
I agree.
I thought Roddy Ricch rapped. I didn't even know he sung or whatever, and then I was really confused for a second. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then I like the chorus. It's really like big, and it kind of plays into the level of like you feel the excellence and the success is rolled into a place where you just got 30 bitches in a living room dancing and shit. Like, arguably, if you can maintain that, shit, 30, that's a lot. That's like a level of it's beyond what I could handle type thing, you know? So like I respect that kind of shit. And the overall flow of his thing is beautiful. And I just want to comment on the ad-libs, right? I think so many people I know, and some of this is just talking to people I know that I'm not saying, but like it's like people work so hard on the flow and the perfect construction of multisyllabic words that they completely ignore the power of like first rapper with a Versace deal did a chain reaction. That's big because you got an early chain. Soulja Boy ain't do that. Now that's a reference to Soulja Boy, who claimed to be the first of a lot of things, which arguably Soulja Boy is way more significant to hip-hop history than anybody's ever going to want to admit. But from a Wikipedia perspective, he's really influential for a lot of things. But he ain't 2 Chainz level. That's a great line. And what really sold it home wasn't even the bar. it was the ad lib. It's that ad lib, which called back to the chorus, giving you this sense of, extra fulfillment because you were familiarized with it, and our brains work off of repetition. So when you hear something again and it calls back to the hook, it's an extra hook in a sense. So musically, It's a powerful flex, which isn't as easy to do with multisyllabic flows. And the other side of it is what he's saying is just so powerful that linguistically, the in the context of how he's saying it, which we all understand the context of, is being like that almost condescending, like, go fuck yourself. It's like saying go fuck yourself, but without even using words. It's like, that's a brilliant line. That's some shit that's super simple. So simple, it's fucking hard to write. And I really liked the way he approached it. And that was my favorite part of this song. I don't have a lot more to say about it. I did wonder if they are going to make a Ferrari truck, though. I never thought about it. So, yeah, that's an interesting line. All things considered, I enjoyed it. It's a vibe. I have less to say about it. The motivation part at the end, I question. I think it's more of an environment than genetic. I think it's more who you're around that creates your hustle, because I've seen too many people go from lazy to actual hustle rather than it being hereditary. So I do think about it, and I agree with you, but I don't think it's hereditary. I think it's environmental. I think it's who you surround yourself with creates the hustle. That would be my thing. And because so many people don't surround themselves with hustle, because hustle hard, it ends up feeling like what 2 Chainz is describing here. But I definitely think that if you give me anybody that really want it, I can help them get it. That's where I really believe in life. I get this a 4.5. That's my vibe on it. I don't think hustle is genetic. I definitely think anybody can hustle if they really so choose and desire to hustle. Like, it's just that most people will never choose to do so due to whatever. Like, ain't nobody dying and leaving me a house, so maybe that's heretic. Maybe that's heretic or hereditary. Heretic is, I guess, a different term entirely. I digress. I'm rambling. 4 point.
Yeah, so the neighbors know my name.
So, yeah, let us talk about Neighbors Know My Name. Who wants to start? Bonnie.
I'll start.
Okay, Chris.
Okay.
Chris.
Whatever. Okay, so the Laffy Taffy beat, that was cool. When that came in, I was like, of course 2 Chainz would definitely rap on this. This was something I didn't know I kind of needed, I feel. I like that it's short. I like that it's like not long, because I don't know if I could. My thing is that I feel like I only like it because of the Laffy Taffy beat. The rest of the song, I'm like, it's consistent with the project. It flows. 2 Chainz does his thing, which is dope. But like, I don't know if I would actually like this if this wasn't the Laffy Taffy beat, and that's kind of where I'm stuck on this. Other than that, though, it's a good song. It fits. It brings you back into that like party mode. It comes and brings you back to that vibe. So that's also cool. I like that. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I gave it a 4 on 5.
I'm Bonnie.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, interesting beat selection, obviously. It's about him having like a fly ass lady, and his neighbors know his name because his girl is screaming out his name. And that's what it is. It's just like funny. It's not necessarily something that I would go back to.
Can I just comment on that line in particular so we don't go back to it? His
Sure.
name is oh fuck oh shit. Like, he's fucking them so hard that she's oh fuck, and that's what the neighbors think his name is. That's top tier fucking funny. Okay, that is a hilarious fucking line.
Like, it is funny. It is like a comical kind of a song, and like, as which showed by like the music video too. Like, it is just like a glimpse into his like quirky kind of like personality, and he's kind of like funny, but he's also gonna fucking real good. So that's how it is. So I also gave it a 4 on 5.
I think this song is incredible. First of all, before we even get to the song, I have a relationship with this Laffy Taffy beat that has nothing to do with the original song. One day I'm on TikTok, and at one point this Laffy Taffy remix song comes through, and it's like, shake that Laffy Taffy, girl, turn it back and drop it, girl, that shit, and everybody's doing the dance. But I encountered it by watching a guy make his cat do it. And I hate to admit it, but a cat video got me obsessed with this fucking Laffy Taffy dance. So I've watched a lot of cat videos doing it.
It'll get you.
And then like following that, I ended up discovering the Laffy Taffy song, which I'm like is also a TikTok trend. So it gets stuck into your fucking head because girls be shaking their asses to the Laffy Taffy song. So it's like you get this positive association if you're me. And then I heard the song and I thought of cats and women shaking their asses the entire way through this. So I mean, we were already in a positive place starting this song. I just have to give
100.
the fucking context coming in. Plus, it's really a great use of it. And if the music video is actually criticizing the actual Laffy Taffy dance, that's amazing. That's a really high level of satire that I think 2 Chainz should really get props for because that's fucking hilarious. Because that shit is a classical dance, honestly, but it's also ridiculous because of how we all made fun of it 10 years ago and shit. But yet, here we are, and it's a banging of a tune today. As far as we already talked about how hilarious the chorus is. He's in the hotel suite fucking, everybody knows it. And it's really just like fun, right? He's rich, he's ratchet, he's really happy to be who he is. He's unapologetic about his shit. His ad-libs are perfect. His flow is fucking fine. And honestly, if there was ever a song to be like, yo, this is 2 Chainz and he's fucking like ridiculously fun to a Laffy Taffy beat, like, yo, this is a 5. Like, this is brilliant. Like, it's almost like he's aware of how ridiculous he is. And he's just owning it to the fullest because honestly, looking at 2 Chainz without knowing anything about him, it's like, what the fuck is this? It's a little ridiculous. See him on YouTube, you see his over the topness, and he just owns it. He owns it with a level of dad dick energy that I respect. This shit's a 5. Let's move on to the next one then.
I did want to say one thing because I forgot. I actually forgot. I had a line. I had that act up in my cup, same color elderberry. That's actually a cool lean line. I thought that was cool because like I had that act up, which like acting up and getting wild, but also act short for activist, which is like in fucking lean and shit. So that was actually pretty cool. I just wanted to highlight that.
That's brilliantly written, and my lack of leanness did not help me get there. And before we go, shout out Emotions for the follow, and we about to listen to the next 2 Chainz song, $1 Million Worth of Game. Yeah, like 2 Chainz is really versatile. Is the one thing I would say is you can't listen to any 2 Chainz song and just believe that it's going to be reflective of all the 2 Chainz songs. Like a couple of albums ago, it was really not this vibe, and like he's really versatile, and he'll like honestly check out the Run the Jewels song with him on it. Like that might be a better first impression. Chris, what do you think of this track?
I think this was cool. Something, and I maybe this is just me being me, but the title stood out to me because it's also like a YouTube channel that's with like people in the hip hop community and culture. Willie, I don't want to butcher.
Oh, say
their
word,
name.
eh?
Yeah, $1 Million Worth of Game. Willie and Gallo. I don't want to butcher their names anyway, but that's an actual podcast that's been like popping off and people are like really getting into it now. So I didn't know if he was actually kind of like giving them a shout out or that, but that is somewhere
Definitely.
that my brain went. The song itself is kind of actually what it stands for. Like he's really giving you a lot of game in this song. I feel like just how he kind of moved and how he like got to where he is today. The line that I really liked was the FN was my hype man, because I don't know if that's like referring to DJ FN from with Nori, but the FN is also an automatic weapon. It's also not an automatic, it's a single burst weapon, which also ties into like the lines with aftermarket extendo. I pray it don't jam, that whole gun line there. So that was really cool. But the fact that he's like first couple of shows, the FN was my hype man, I was like, yo, it could be like the gun, or actually it could be DJ FN when he was probably DJing shows or something from Drink Champs, right?
Or it could be that the shows weren't actually shows at all, but they were a completely other operation.
That could also
because
be it too. So
look at the
cool.
sequence. I sold green, sold white. We all know what that means. Sold lyrics, which is the flex though, right? Like how many rappers you know who be like, I be selling ghostwriting hits like I be selling drugs. That was for me. You know? Anyway,
yeah.
But that would be just to add on to that bar, because I agree it's fire.
Fair enough. Follows through the rest of the verse was pretty solid. I didn't really have much else that kind of came out to me. What was interesting to me was 42 Dugg's verse. I think I've heard 42 Dugg on like one track, and I've heard he's been popping. And what I like it. I loved it. I was like, yo, this is so cool. Again, the voices, I'm like, okay, I'll get over that. That will come, but like I really want to give you like the chance to, show what you can do. And it was cool. I like I don't not in the sense of like lyrically, I was like, okay, it is what it is. But in terms of just how he presented it, how he stuck to the flow, how he rides the beat, I was like, yeah, this really kind of shows like this really kind of blends nicely with 2 Chainz as well, which was dope. Money moves, making it right, doing what you got to do. This one was a 4 on 5 for me.
And how do you
Yeah,
feel, Bonnie?
nice. Like, I mean, he's talking about that he's got money, he's got ladies, he's got all kinds of fancy jewelry, and he's just going to keep on doing that, to, continue elevating his life. He sold green, he sold white, he sold lyrics. So he's kind of made his money, started off maybe in a, more illegal kind of manner, and now is like in like a hella elite, like, artistic selling lyrics, that's artistic stuff. So he's definitely progressed, and I think that's cool. I do want to mention about the beat. Like, I like the flute in the beat, but it does kind of hurt the ear because it is very high pitched, and when you have it like turned up loud, it hurts a lot. But anyways, I just wanted to mention that 42 Dugg is all right. He's basically like can't be fucked with. Like, he's like whatever, and yeah, I mean, it was good. 4.215.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one in a vibe sense. I feel like it's pride at this point. Like, I feel like at this point in the project, we have established his power, and he's just not afraid to flex it. Like, he wants you to know, almost in a sense, that he really is that guy when we talk about wealth and power and what he's accomplished and a lot of shit. But then what's he doing? Putting on for people I've never heard of 42 Dugg, okay? I would never have heard this guy's name if it wasn't, I mean, maybe in the future. But like 2 Chainz put on here, in my opinion, he's like taking this whole album to give opportunities to make us listen to people who don't really have like who I would never seek out, probably because they're in different generations and shit. So do you not see how 2 Chainz connecting himself to the next generation and all the next sounds is inherently $1 million worth of game? That's just the facts of that. It sounds awesome because it doesn't sound like any of the tracks previously on the project, but like fits in perfectly in terms of placement. It keeps it going. I don't have as much to comment on it. I feel like really my favorite part was how he's just flexing on the selling lyrics and shit. But all the bars and the consistency of what we've been describing, it's really enjoyable shit. He's displaying his wit, his character, and coming from a position of like actually winning. So like, don't make me pull out $1 million cash. I ain't tripping. Like, there's not a lot of people who can do that and are willing to do that. And 2 Chainz is just reminding you that he is capable of this. And so I suppose if authenticity is it, right? And that's the thing everybody's supposed to be craving in hip hop. When they're real, is it really bad to say this shit? Because, like, that's his life. That's the conversations he has as he goes around and tries $500,000 blunts. Okay, do you smoke we don't smoke $500,000 blunts. We're not the same as 2 Chainz. Nope. So it's like a whole different reality where it feels different when 2 Chainz does it. And then I feel like the other dude is more like on the come up, and it's reflected in his bars. So it's like 2 Chainz found a young version of himself to kind of be like, this is the past and this is the future on the same fucking song. And that's amazing. So it's like a 4.2-ish on 5. It's not my favorite, but I really enjoyed it still. On that note, let's move on to Free BG, upon which I'm going to get some dihydrogen monoxide, everyone. All right, Bonnie, what do you think about this one?
He's just talking about that hot boy shit. He's just doing it. Like, he wants to be doing it, and he's the hot boy, so he just does it. For me, like, I was like on and off about how much I enjoyed the flow. Like, I wasn't sure of like the BPP or whatever. Like I don't know. Like, it was up and down for me. Like, the beat was all right. He's just always been flashy. It is his way. But for me, like, this one was okay. I mean, it's a minute 44. It's not particularly long or like whatever, so it's not drawn out. But it's not it's definitely not my favorite. Like I appreciate what he's saying, but I did find his flow kind of annoying to listen to. So I give this one a 3.9 on 5.
Chris?
So quick little Google search. I knew I've heard Hot Boy before somewhere, and Hot Boy is a group, the Hot Boys, which was a group made up of BG, Lil Wayne, Juvenile, and Turk. So Free BG could potentially mean BG from Hot Boys, and I think he's talking about BG in the first verse when he's calling him a hot boy, addressing it like that. Because I've heard that term before, and that's what I think that is. The second verse was dope. I think this is more like, again, just kind of preaching for his friend who I think is locked up, given like the title Free BG, is dope. I mean, kind of repetitive, but I get it. Like, I understand why it's repetitive in the first verse. Yeah, it was nice. It's pretty much it. I gave this a 4 on 5.
I love the repetition. I don't know why anybody hating on that shit. Sometimes like monotony is really good in a song. Like this was a vibe, right? Like you're just sitting there in like I can almost picture like you're in a car or something cruising and you're just vibing and it's just playing out and it's anthemic. Every line's a statement, right? Now, the other part of this is I'm a white dude in corporate America, bro. Like, come on. I don't even know what the fuck PPP is. I can imagine P's as pounds. I did the same Googling Chris did and assumed BG and Hot Boy from the group, but like, bro, it's a song where I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I know what he's talking about, kinda. It creates an atmosphere and an ambiance, but like,
So I mean, I just punched in PPP. I have no idea what it means, but the first response is purchasing power parity,
like.
which is a measurement of prices in different countries that uses the prices of specific goods to compare for absolute purchasing power.
So it could be that, or it could be drugs, or it could be some other shit. And I've come to realize sometimes it just wasn't meant for me to understand what the fuck 2 Chainz is talking about. I get the general gist of it. He be making his flexes, and he goes from, I believe, the hot boy of his past, when he's living one life, again into a more present version when he drops the hot boy, and, he's kind of doing this whole thing. He flipped his whole world around. That's the best I can really give you in terms of an interpretation. There's a clear tone shift because he goes from the hot boy redundancy to not, right? But and yeah, he usually has more than one meaning. He's a very complex writer. So it's like
Yeah.
Hot Boy doing donuts down the street could be referencing a super specific shit, like a super specific event that happened.
Of course.
While also an attitude of doing donuts down the streets, which, is kind of like a big like flex. You need to have certain level of bravado to be engaged in such behaviors. So it's like, and it's like completely could be some gang shit I don't know anything about. So that's the problem sometimes with the bar interpretations and just recognizing it. Like, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I love how it sounds. And I'm really into repetition. Like, everyone acts like it's kind of like, oh, it's too much. But really, what else could he have done? This beat was perfect. It was a short little song. Every bar was perfectly delivered. Everything was snug. And then he broke the monotony with his little verse to kind of create an extra layer to the song. So, like, to me, it's nice. It's a little ditty. It's a completely different vibe than anything else we've heard. It felt like, okay, just to remind y'all, I know some street shit was honestly what I felt with this track. Like, to prove that he really hits all layers of this. And so I really like what he did with it. It's a 4.5 for me. I really enjoyed listening to it. I don't fully get it, but that don't mean nothing else to me. It's cool. I don't always understand shit. I listen to like fucking French rap now to pretend like I understand all the French rap. Get out of here. German rap. You can listen to that and not know what the fuck they're talking about. Hell, there's that TikTok song with the Russian dude rapping about bitches and hoes that people were doing family montages to. So it just goes to show how much people really care what people be talking about. Anyway.
It's actually funny you brought up German rap because I have a song called Superman that's from a German rapper on my Spotify. Go ahead.
Anyway, so let's move on to 10 bracelets and stop being so judgmental of things we don't understand.
Who's being judgmental?
Not you, just the world. All right, Bonnie, what do you think about this one?
So he's got arms full of 10 bracelets and he's just buying more and he's got more and he's wearing them and he just keeps on having lots of bracelets. So for me, like I found like this one particularly, I was like, wow, I'm like, he sounds so much like Jay-Z on this one. Like, I don't know, something about the influence or just like his tone of voice or whatever, but it definitely gave me like Jay-Z vibes. He's basically got like everything he needs. He's talking about, he's from Atlanta, he's worked a hot block, that he did what he needed to do to like become successful and all of that. And Young Boy Never Broke Again, quite the name. He is good. He kind of sounded like somebody else, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I know that's like useless information for you, but yeah, I mean, I liked his flow. It was good. This is basically just like, it's like a slower beat, but it's like telling you something. Like it's sort of like his like success song. Like, he's kind of proud of what he's accomplished. He's kind of, saying like, this is what he is, this is where he's come from, this is what he's doing. And he's just kind of like proud and confident. And, I think that it's like a cool song to like write about. So I gave this a 4.4 on 5. I thought it was good.
I agree with you about the Young Boy Never Broke Again. I felt like I heard him before, but I know I've never heard him before because like I was like, damn, I never heard this guy before, but I've heard his name before. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
He's currently like popping. Like,
I know he's popping.
Mm.
And I sincerely, because you're left with the thought, like, and I don't want to be that guy, but what if he's 35 and broke? Like, what if? And I don't want to be that guy. That's a bold name. I like it. It's confident.
I don't think so. I don't think 2 Chainz would be on a song with him if he was 35 and broke.
Well, no, but he's young now. We don't know yet. That's like a future thing, That's what I mean. Like, I don't want to be that. I kind of do want to be that guy, though. I'm sorry, I lied to you. I wanted to be that guy. But otherwise than that, I was really impressed. He's really good. I think he's pretty much set up for a decent career. Like, there's no reason why he should be broke again. I don't really have a lot to say about his verse because it just felt like I've heard it a little bit in terms of style and shit, but like, I'm not that like cognizant of what he does other than that. So it's like, I just really, really enjoyed listening to this. But as far as songs went, I felt like 2 Chainz' flow was ridiculous, and then I lost a little bit of interest at his verse. So it was harder for me to think about it. That was where I was left at. Because 2 Chainz' verse was really like upbeat, spastic, had this crazy shit. Like, is it like she basic money stuffed in briefcases because when you got a basic bitch with you, you can just kind of have her move the shit and it's easier because she get through security. I'm left with like all these whimsical ideas and shit. Yep. I feel like there's just this confidence into it. I'm my own weed. I don't even buy gas. Like, that's fire. Like, like there's just everything about this. Like, I enjoyed. And I enjoyed listening to Young Boy Never Broke Again, but I was not left with any like feelings on his particular bars. So that's just where I was at with it, but it's not against him. It's probably, again, just some shit that didn't connect with me. I like the chorus. It's very confident. And I'm just kind of left with, this is a lot of confidence and exuberant wealth sharing with eloquent delivery over a good beats. 4.25 on 5. I don't really have like deep commentary like some of the other tracks gave me this like more elaborateness. So instead of rambling before Bonnie gets mad at me, let us move on to Lost King.
I haven't even explained.
Oh, did we skip Chris? My bad. I'm sorry, Chris.
It's all good.
I forgot about you.
It's fine. Not to kind of repeat a lot of what you guys have said. The chorus is cool. I think it does solidify that he's reminding everybody he's rich, he's got money. He's put in the time, he's put in the work, and this is where he's at. I felt like part of this song was to kind of team up with Young Boy Never Broke Again. I think it was just, I've got money, you're now getting money, let's kind of team up and I'll give you that cosign or whatever. So that's kind of how I felt a little bit about that. What I did like about 2 Chainz' verse is the fact that he's still giving you game. I'm my own restaurant. I don't even buy food. I'm my own weed. I don't buy gas. Got my own bitch. Don't buy ass. And it's like he's kind of showing you like, yo, you could really like kind of save your life if you can go out and do these things. Like, I take it something simple. I own my own restaurant. I don't even buy food. He doesn't have to go hungry. Like, he owns that place. He could always, feed people, feed families, feed himself. And I think that was really cool how he stood out, still trying to like tell people like, yo, you know, really try to work for your stuff, really try to keep that going. um Get the chorus, that's cool. And for Young Boy Never Broke Again, it was dope. I like it kind of stands up. I guess it kind of gives that same type of feel that we're getting. He's on the come up or whatever. I did like when I did like when he said, I don't like conversations, fuck relationships, hang the phone up in the cell, mad at the ones I love. I ain't never picked the phone up. It really kind of shows me that he's struggling by himself, and that he's, as much as he's dealing with, you know, fame and lavishness and stuff like that, he still kind of holds on to, I guess, certain relationships and certain things from his past, which kind of stood out to me. Maybe I'm reaching a little bit, but overall, I guess the song itself is good. I left this with a 4 on 5.
All right. Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate you. And I'm glad you gave your contribution. Otherwise, it would have fallen into the abyss like Lost Kings. Think about this track.
I thought it was great. I think it's really speaking about how, you know, people are dying in the communities and rappers are dying. And you know, as rappers themselves, they're feeling trapped. They're feeling like, how are they supposed to do what they want to do if people that they look up to, you know, I saw King Von, I saw Young Dolph, I saw Nipsey there. There was one more I didn't recall. But you know, people that they look up to and people that they wanted to like make music with and fuck with and all this stuff, and like they're dying, and things are just getting really hard. And it's to me, I guess it was one of the more powerful songs on the project, just I guess in terms of the message and what we're getting from here. I like 2 Chainz's storytelling type. Like, he lets you know that since birth he's been like this, he's been ready to hustle. He's talking about how like he's seen somebody get died trying to help his sister from domestic violence, giving you that, like, I think that line is supposed to explain that the person who died, what William, I guess his name is, who died, was killed trying to protect his sister.
Yeah.
Right, showing like the different sides of like how it kind of works in the community and how like they're getting pinned down and stuff like that. So I thought that was really dope, and you're like kind of getting more of an inside understanding of like, this is where we come from, this is what we live, this is what we've seen, and like, how are we supposed to continue moving forward. And we get into the chorus. I like that Sleepy Rose was really good. I actually kind of like was feeling it, and I was like, yo, you really, I can kind of feel the pain in his voice when he was saying breathe. I don't know if that was like an effect, but I really felt like he was trying to do that with his own vocals, so that was cool. And Durk killed it. Like, Durk really killed it for me on this one. I know, like, I never really gave Durk that respect on, especially on my last review by myself. I'm sorry. I'm gonna state that, but he really like went in and just kind of gives you like his storytelling. Now, I don't have like much to quote because I don't really know what maybe he's trying to say in some of these things, but I hate talking to my dog on a tablet. It's like, yeah, okay, I assume your person's probably in jail or
Because
far
jail
from
got
you,
this
or
whole
like
like
locked down.
tablet system, right? Like they got these jail approved. John Oliver's got a whole thing on it.
So that's like, I'm just things that I'm thinking. But also something that could also be is like, imagine the lockdown, like you can't see anybody, you want to talk to your homie in real life, but you got to use the tablet. So it's like, I hate this, like kind of feeling like we're trapped again. So that was cool. I like how he states, I hate this famous shit. That was dope. I for some reason, I guess when I saw Lil Durk and whenever I interpreted whatever he was saying, he was always about fame. But that really hit me. I was like, okay, this is some real shit. So that really made me change my thinking about Durk. And yeah, I mean, it was fire. This track really stood out to me. This was a 4.5 on 5. Like, yeah, no, this is good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so it starts off as like Sleepy Rose, and like he's really good, and he's just basically trying to figure out life and do good for his kids, and that kind of sentiment. And like 2 Chainz is kind of talking about some real shit. Like Chris said about someone dying while intervening in a domestic abuse situation, which is very sad. um and he's still trying to act like the king that he is, and he's just going to keep on doing that. And he is obviously this touches on like lost kings and on people who have passed away, and things like that, or been killed, or whatever has happened. um and then we have a little Durk, and he's good, and he's kind of talking about like there's murder scenes everywhere, and like no matter where you go, someone is being taken out. And it's just kind of like the whole song is just kind of about like how can anybody stay calm and be complacent and whatever when kings are being killed, and like people from their community are being killed, and their friends and their families and things like that. So like it is a very like sentimental, hard-hitting, like lots of feelings in this song. Obviously it touches on people and that are important to them, and people that they have directly lost, as well as kind of like the overall like community aspect of it, I think. So for me, I thought it was another good one. I gave this one a 4.5 on 5.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I mean, clearly on this album, this is like a tone shift. Like it wakes you up and it's like, yeah, there's other shit that we gotta talk about. And I think the choice of Lil Durk on this, I don't know who Sleepy Rose is, but like if you look into like Lil Durk at all, you're like, yo, his block has claimed a lot of rappers' lives lately. In particular, like where he's from, it's like some of those words hit really kind of different because he's there, I think, and because he's a good representation of the, like you were commenting on his eyes, but I've noticed that like I've seen that shit a lot when you see him in public and he's constantly hounded by paparazzi. And if you look at the comments on like the Instagram videos and shit, it's all people like, imagine you're right there in broad day and your ops might want you and you're being broadcast everywhere. You can't retaliate, you can't do anything because now you're just covered. Like this isn't my reality, but like it just makes me kind of feel a lot of empathy to the situation, and it is a situation that a lot of people deal with as the drill becomes popular everywhere, even in Montreal. It's not like our city is completely innocent of a similar thing happening. Like I don't want to again go too deep on that shit, but I feel like they're speaking to something that is a real theme that's coming through, and there's so much pain in it. And like I really love that every other night a different murder scene and I got a full vision, because that line, it just feels like it hits on multiple levels. Like he's got a full vision of what's happening in the world, both in the, I literally see it in real life, I see the systemic things in play to keep us there, but then also I got a vision of what I want to see in my future and what I want for myself and my family, which is reinforced by the previous line. And as far as a transitionary 5 or 6 words goes, that line is like 5, 6 meanings all at like once to me, and that's a powerful fucking bar. Like it's crazy how sometimes it's the simplest bar that placed in the midst of the right things can create such a full scope and picture of everything. 2 Chainz' verse is brilliant because it starts with like the first part where it's kind of tying into what he's seen and showing you again the landscape of it. But the more interesting part to me is how he flips it. My DNA despise a coward. I'm a coward. I'm black, rich, and educated, so I got the power. I think like a king, act like a king. When you was on the trapper lane, I was on a triple beam, which I now know means a scale, because remember that time we googled that on the stream. Anyway, but the idea there, it's not just one thing. It's like, listen, if you Google 2 Chainz, he's university educated, right? Like he's not just some ignorant person. He's coming here and telling you, and then he's also trying to empower people by being like, this is the perception of wealth and power, what you're getting from me. Emulate this in a sense, because I think like a king and I act like a king. And in a sense, the rest of this album almost feels like here's an attitude as a way out of this circumstance. I mean, maybe I'm overreaching, but that's what I took from it in terms of like the placement. And then Lil Durk, there's so much pain. Like there's just so much pain in both the Sleepy Rose and Lil Durk's delivery and everything. It's just it's pain. I don't know how else to put it. It's really beautiful art.
Yep.
And it's really like when you realize, because fucking Trap Lord Rosses and them fucking cover all this shit like it's porn, that a lot of this shit is based in some like really complicated realities that like it's just pain, and it's really honest art, and I really like it a lot. This song's a 5. It's like brilliantly placed on the album, while also being such a powerful message and giving us a couple of tracks to kind of almost recover from it. It's really well done. I don't know what else to say about it. It's beautiful. Let's talk about Caymans. All right, Bonnie, how do you feel about this one?
Didn't really love this song. I mean, it is just about him being sort of like in pain and how money gets him access to cool things and cool experiences. So he spends it because like YOLO. And like, you know, like I get like what he's talking about there. Swae Lee is featured on this song. You know, they're good. And basically, yeah. And you know, how you're gonna be broke and famous is just kind of like use the money that you've got, live like the life that you have, and you know, just keep on like growing and enjoying your life. So yeah, 4 on 5.
So, oh god, I think this
Neither
may
of
be a
you like this song?
commentary. No, I liked it. I like the song.
Okay.
I like the song. Like like sonically, it's good. Everything's nice. 2 Chainz did well. Swae Lee did well. I like the song. It's not like my favorite, but it's not like it's bad. So it's fine. But like, I think this is a commentary on people who go live, people who kind of act like they're famous, people who may be kind of faking it. And I get that because 2 Chainz in his first verse, right? Walk up in the spot and I think I smell rhinestones. You got fake chains on. You can't have 5 on. You can't have 5 on.
That's a great
There's a
line.
no-fly zone. Somebody turn the live on. And I feel like he's kind of like explaining and then following up with the, you know, how can you be broke and famous? It's like this idea of not actually living the life you have. I think like that's kind of what I got from this, because like I'm not gonna sit here and be like 2 Chainz isn't famous or rich, so that's not it. But I think he is commenting on like how people are chasing this idea of fame and they don't actually like they can't actually really maintain it, they can't live it, they can't live up to it. Like the line that 2 Chainz says, the last pic he posts, my homie just killed his airmans, or whatever. The last pic he posted looked like the Caymans, as if like he was not really where he's supposed to be. He's out living like a better life and kind of maybe masking it or something like that.
Right.
Swae Lee gives me this like I'm going through issues with my girlfriend type vibes. But like doesn't not really more than that. But I think it's still the idea, like, how can you be brokenhearted when you got paper now? How can you be doing this type of shit when you're like in a different type of like different phase of your life? I think it did stick really well. I gave this a 4.2 on 5.
This song's awesome. First of all, I'm gonna put it out there like that. That's my feelings. I feel like this is again that $1 million game shit. Like, yo, I mean, it wouldn't be that hard for me to portray a fake wealth lifestyle. Like, I do make enough on a single paycheck to pull up enough 20s to put up a stack and make it look like I'm doing better than I am. I mean, I wouldn't, but I make enough. So, especially at Christmas time, bro, I could make a really fancy ass money picture if I wanted to. It doesn't stay, so I don't have anything, but like, at the end of the day, it's like you can portray a wealthier lifestyle than you have. You can, in fact, fake some shit. But what I really think he's pointing out is like, in this world, it's like, how are you really going to be like that? I mean, if you really want to fuck with me, I understand what's real. So, like, you know, I smoke a lot for the pain, bitch. Money talk, yeah, I speak the language. So he understands what it all sounds like to be successful, to be in business, to actually have what you're backing it up. If you fuck with me, you're going to sing this. How you going to be broke and famous? And I think that's the bigger issue. It's that it's pretty easy to get famous, actually. But, like, how are you really going to be famous when you're broke? Because to be famous costs money. Like, I have to up my wardrobe this year because I have reached a level of, I would call clout, where it's in my best interest to put a couple $1,000s into looking nicer. You know, put like $5 a month even if I want to. Maybe not that much. But, like, start to do that kind of shit. Buy the expensive shit because... like, people kind of expect a certain degree if you're doing money wise, if you're doing well in life. And I don't think it's so vain. I think it's like, yo, if you're in your mid 30s, shouldn't you look nicer shouldn't you be able to do richer shit? Or like, if you're famous, so to speak, like, shouldn't you have the money to back that up? Or what's your fame worth? And I think it's a criticism of like, what is your fame worth? And that to me is super interesting, because like, when you have money, it's different. Like, I feel like he just kind of, I don't know about the Cayman, but I didn't think about it a lot, but he can like smell the snitches, he can understand who's real or not. And then the whole Rhinestones line is interesting. It's like, to him, it's like, that's not a flex, it's corny. When you come around somebody like me, or even a French Montana figure, or these other characters who actually do have the wealth and money to purchase the real shit, it's like you kind of look a little cornball from his perception when it's not the real shit. And then it's not so much the fake chain. It's wearing 5 fake chains. It's the fucking excessiveness, like you actually balling, but you have 5 fake chains of rhinestones. So he's okay with you wearing like a 1 fake chain to do what you got to do, like in this bar, right? Like, that's actually really interesting. So it's not about having fake. Like, I have a fake Hugo Boss suit. I got it in Pakistan. Cost me as much to go to Pakistan in theory as it would to get the suit. It's a flex to me. But like, having a bunch of like fake shit and acting like in excess, like you're actually rich, is kind of corny. Having the 1-2 thing because you got it on a thing and it looks nice, like, I'm gonna go get a like cheap little thing done for the aesthetic, that's okay. So that's when it becomes a no-fly zone, and we gotta call this shit out. I think Swae Lee's brilliant. Honestly, he's one of my favorite voices. Ever since that Sicko Mode song, I got really hooked on him. He does ad-libs well. The way his voice is harmonizing throughout the back of the beat is really beautiful and really complements the song in a huge way, and it really fills things out. I think his verse is like a young man version of it. Like, I really like broken hearted, but you got paper now. I guess you still broke and famous. And I think that's like kind of pointing out that if he was really where you say you are at, you wouldn't actually, be making these claims. Like, let's say it's like, if you're really that rich and wealthy and shit, you don't have the time to be so whiny, kind of thing, is what I took from that. Like, you don't hear Swae Lee out there whining. He might be going through heartbreak right now, but you don't really see that. Like, all I ever see from this kid is he's working with fucking legends and making his name known and shit. He's clearly making paper. Why?
That's because I'm pretty sure anyway.
I'm talking about like outside of music, okay? Not necessarily.
Well, like
music.
I follow like the Joe Budden podcast and the Rory podcast and stuff, and like I'm pretty sure I feel like I've heard a thing where his last breakup was all over the internet. Like, it was all over. Like, there was like emails back and forth. Anyway, I don't know
about that. Anything. I'm just saying, that's what I interpret.
Whatever.
I would argue Swae Lee's doing very well financially. Okay, just on Sicko Mode, that guy's eating. On one song, he's eating, okay? Like, he's eating. Plus, Nicki Minaj remixed that Black fucking Beatles song. And that Black Beatles song was a bop, though. That is a good song. Anyway, Swae Lee's fucking fire. I really like the verse. I feel like it really complimented the song. I think it's all good. And I really like 2 Chainz' little, like, look, I'm not trying to tell you that, like, you suck or anything. I'm trying to be open-minded. This is real game. You're faking it bad. That's what I feel he's saying. He's like saying, you're faking it bad. Fake it better or don't fake it. And I love the overall message of this song. And I really think it's another 4.5. This is a great track to me. I understand. I'm alone on this one. It's cool. But let's run it then into Vlad TV.
Start.
Me? This is amazing. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. Oh my gosh, musically that beat's ridiculous. It's like 4.5 minutes, so it's like, yo, I could still do a 3-verse song in an era where you can't do 3-verse songs, and I'll be verse 3, and I'm so dope that my verse 3 so hot that I bring you back to my old days and walk you through my fucking lifestyle through this vivid storytelling of a bunch of imagery eloquently put over a beat with a crazy, ridiculous flow broken down with absolute perfect, immaculate syllable delivery. That's 2 Chainz' part. Oh my god, this song's fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm not even playing. Like, that chorus is just fire. I watched it go on Vlad TV. He told on himself. Oh my god, we all watch somebody go on Vlad TV and tell on themselves because he's a fucking snake like that. And he makes motherfuckers tell on themselves. I mean, they do tell on themselves. But yo, Vlad profits on that shit, and it's always worth pointing out that Vlad's a fucking snake like that. One of my things when I tell people is like, I want to like whatever, but not be Vlad TV. Like I literally tell that to people off cam so that we all understand I'm aware of that shit. As a real conversation that has to come up sometimes, especially when you're dealing with the streets sometimes, which I don't, but I've interviewed people from there. So it's like, you got to let them know, like, and then they do their whole thing, like, we're going to do it. But my favorite part of this chorus, bop bricks, bop pounds, and we learn that dope ain't going to sell itself. Fair. Especially if you're young and you're watching Vlad TV and you're hearing a bunch of shit off of that, etc. And that a dope ain't going to sell itself. Like, I think that's an interesting line too, the way he follows it up linguistically, because now a dope being an individual, you're not going to sell yourself. You have to, like, it's kind of like, I don't fully get it. I can't break it down as eloquently. My brain's blanking. But it's just a shift towards, like, possibly how Vlad's manipulating the situation and the media sells an individual in that way, or that inherently you as a person, as a product, have to go out and make your shit move. And this is how some people chose to do it. But realistically, there's not a huge difference between a content creator hustling content and a dope dealer selling dope, except for the magnitude of the danger that goes into the various occupations and the other things that go with it. Stove God Cooks is amazing. I've never heard of him, but holy shit, that hits my old man ass beautifully. The perfect precision on the flow, the great bars, the fucking painting that he pictures with his voice. Also the fuck y'all, I don't believe you-ness in his verse. Holy shit, it's great. I love the fucking AKKK bars where he kind of does that thing where you like fucking pia your fucking bars into like dopeness. All that to say, great verse. Chorus is great. We did that. Symba also sounds good. Fucking amazing. Come on, scheming on that DMX bar. The fucking little acronym comes. Like, I just watched a BMF show, so I thought that was a fire-ass bar as well. Just the overall grittiness that gets put together. Another beautifully, eloquently put together verse. Also, the idea that, like, yo, listen, if you want to sell drugs and a drug you don't sell don't work, go fucking sell the next drug. What are you going to say? A legal issue? You're going to draw the line at what's more criminal? Come on, B, go sell what you got to sell. Even if it's heroin. Yeah. If that's the only option, go fucking do your shit. Oh, people watch some power move a little powder, think they ghost? Like, oh, that's a great bar. Anyway, that's kind of like saying you saw some shit on TV, like a Vlad TV, and you anyway. There's like a layer to like commentary on how there's an influence of people watching TV and being like posers with it while coming from a perspective of people who actually know what they're doing. This shit is a 5-on-5. It is a brilliant song. Who would like to go next?
I'll go. So yeah, I mean, you said it a lot.
That's why I like to go last.
Yeah. So Stove God Cooks, he kind of gave me like Aesop Rock vibes in the way that he was flowing. Kind of about rappers acting like fools, exposing their crimes, learned from others that dope isn't going to sell itself. And like, that's kind of everybody's learning from each other. This is like a very like dope energy song. Like, it's really cool. Like everybody, we've got Stove God Cooks, Symba, and Myjah on this song, and like they're all sounding pretty great in my opinion. It's definitely has like a vibe that's more like old school, kind of like 70s style. Like, I really like the beat, like how it sounds. And just kind of talking about like where they're from. People want drugs, and so somebody's got to sell it, and that's life. And it kind of ties back into like the whole album cover, album title, influence, and talking about how they used to roll and the things that they used to do and the things that they had and whatever. So I give it a 4.75. It is a pretty dope song.
And you, Christopher?
I am not smart enough to say anything about this song and really kind of understand what is supposed to be said, besides the fact that I'm like, so you talk about, like, for me, it's like you talk about how Vlad TV, people go on and people snitch, but then I kind of go through your lyrics and I'm like, aren't you just essentially snitching? No. Like, you're kind of telling us what you guys did. I'm probably wrong, but overall, I really don't have much to say about this track. So
it would be like an allusion to things, just to give you. It's not like they're literally saying, I was on the block in this town, in this place with these people and these I don't know if you've actually seen Vlad. I'm not saying it's like I've seen him happen.
I haven't. Like, that's why.
Like, this really can sometimes get like, bro, you just like straight up, if the feds are watching this, like, it almost feels like sometimes like Vlad is a plant. I'm not saying
Mm.
I don't watch him anymore. I stopped watching him. I'm like, I'm not clicking on another DJ Vlad video for the rest of my life at a certain point, and I just stopped. I think I've had to watch one for research for an interview since, but like, I just can't do it because he really is like that, and it really feels like that, and it's really like, yo, he's like old, right? Like he's been in media for like since before the internet and shit. Like he's old and manipulative, and a lot of these people are really young, and I don't know that they have the media training to understand what the fuck they're getting into. They just see the views and shit, and it's like when you're in a position in an interview, believe it or not, I manipulate all of my guests, okay? By the end of the interview, have people telling me things they did not expect to tell me, and there's a responsibility that comes with that. Like, I will get you to tell me things. I will get you to open up, and it's my choice to pressure you or not, right? And I feel like Vlad has chosen to bring people into the level of specificity where it teaches people the wrong parts of the game is I think what they're trying to convey. Whereas, and again, this is me trying to interpret these lyrics, but based on my understanding of Vlad, whereas they're like, yo, like I actually saw some shit. Like look at Symba's verse. I watched my cuz drop out of USF, University of San Francisco, to be like BMF, the Black Mafia family, where if you watch the show, it's like a bunch of, they're like one of the most biggest dope dealing enterprises type things, man. So it's like I watched somebody drop out of university to be like that. Think about that bar, you know? So are they really out here just snitching? You know, he set up a kitchen in the grandma basement and started whipping wet. That's his cousin he watched. Granny asking, what's that smell? It's soap. I've been on CBS. Dog food. Granny, I got my pedigree from DMX, you know? Great bar. I just love the DMX bar, so I threw it in. But
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
I'm not seeing your interpretation lining up with the reality of these lyrics. And I think given the content of this song, it's necessary to specify that.
Fair enough. I think overall it's a good song. I like Stove God Cooks. I like Symba. 2 Chainz does very well. I think their storytelling aspects of all three of them are very well delivered, very well like written out, and you get that imagery. You get what they're trying to say. They're giving you that vision.
Saying that there was a no-knock warrant and a mug shot, I'm out on the next morning, bond put up, without an allusion to anything specific is not the same thing as an interview.
Fair. I don't disagree. I thought
In fact,
this
they're
was
trying to
good.
like pass laws now to make it that lyrics can't be used in court against you because of how much poetry in real life can get interlinked like that. Whereas an interview is like, nah, but you just like talking about yourself.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And I mean, I gave this a 4.2 on 5. I thought it was good.
Super dope. I liked it a lot.
Right.
Anyway, sorry if that got on too long, everyone. I just think it's an important topic, and apparently the discussion's the key of this show. So if you want me to, I'm always happy to. All right, I got a legitimate question, and if I can ever interview 2 Chainz, I'm going to ask him this. Did you break your wrist? Did you break your wrist slapping an ass too hard? Like, is that like? Did you do that? Cause like, that came from
No, but he did get a fraction or something. Was it? What did he get? A fracture? Not a fracture.
That's what I mean. Like, did that happen, bro? I just need to know. Anyway, how do y'all feel about this one?
So he's back. He's happy and like he's loving his girl and wants to do nasty things with her. Like that's kind of what this is. It's a sexy, dirty love song. And that's pretty much all it is, really. And you know, at the end we have like I think it's the same guy from the very beginning of this album, who like did his like little recording or whatever. I think it's the same guy telling the story, you know, like from the beginning, and like if it is like that's kind of cool, like how there's kind of like that continuity and purpose of like, you know, to have the start and the beginning, like it's a nice like encapsulating moment. So yeah, I like that. So I mean, it's a good song. He loves his lady and he loves getting nasty with her, and it's a nice end to the album. So I give this a 4.5 on 5.
I like this. I think that after going through kind of like the high energy through the project and getting a lot of this like rich bumping energy type of grind, I think this was a really good way to end the project. I like seeing the softer side of 2 Chainz as much as this is like still 2 Chainz. It's a little bit more like for like you were saying, his girl. for the person he wants to like spend time with, do things with. I like how in the chorus it's like, yeah, I can talk nasty if you want me to, as if like in a weird way, it kind of like he's big boss man, but he's ready to like he's willing to submit to his girl and like making her happy, which kind of stood out to me. It's like we got this whole project where you're like Kingpen, you're this, you're rich, you're like making money moves, and then but you're also like, yo, but I know when to drop back. I know when I have to like, not be that guy. So that was something that was cool. I like the infusion with Jacquees. I don't really listen to a lot of Jacquees, but I know he's good and I know he's got like a very good voice. And I thought this was nice to have them both on it here. Um, it's solid. I mean, it kind of really does what it's supposed to do. It kind of really straightforward. But I do like the content, the continuation of the story with the guy at the end where he's talking about like the bathroom and like how kind of there was like these rules that you had to go through, which I think that also kind of speaks throughout the project of like, I think it's like y'all weren't really doing that type of lifestyle. Like we were really in the studio like this. We really had a lot of shit to do. And now like your world is different. Like you're not in the gutter studio. You're not in like these things. Y'all are like kind of more fancier or whatever it is. And I think that's like part of a lot of the messaging, especially in one of the tracks where they're talking about like the guy with the gun at the door and then the guy gets shot with the shotgun and all this stuff. It's kind of like really showing you like, dude, this really could happen in our studios. This could really happen in our trap houses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think y'all really know what it is to live that life. So I like that continuity through that. Overall, I mean, it's a 2 Chainz love song. It's dope. Featuring Jacquees. I gave it a 4 on 5.
I mean, I think it's brilliant too, right? Because you go through all that serious shit, and at the end of the day, what's really what matters? It's almost like focus on the people you love and are close to you. And what's a great day to do that is to find, the lady that you with or the dude or whatever you do, and have these nasty ass moments. And it's almost like a reminder too that this is part of life, right? Because if you look at this project and a bit in a whole, like, it completes it. It adds this R&B kind of other vibe that we haven't gotten yet. And in a sense, it's like, you started off with some stripper shit and you ended off with the love making music, even if it's still a little wild, it's still a little 2 Chainsy. It's still also like, like
Yeah.
nice and shit. And I really think it's a good song. It is like absolutely the one I'd listen to the least in the future, but that's just on some preferences shit because I'm not that into R&B, but I like it. I think it's well done. I don't have a lot to say about it. I can see how a lot of girls are probably gonna want to fuck 2 Chainz when they hear shit like this, I give it a 4.25. It's a really like little nice little outro for the project, and I also like that part where the dude at the end is talking about how there's like 20 guys in it, and if you look, there's about 20 people on this project, so it feels like it's like everybody was at this one thing and everybody was stuffed into this little corner, but everybody went through and made this little album, and it created the sense that they got through it even with all the other shit that's weird about being in this environment. And maybe some of these dudes aren't from that environment, but I thought it was just like really complete. Like in a sense, it's the engineer just recorded the whole project and here we have it, and then you get this outro like, yeah, the session's done. And I thought that was a nice little way to like close off the whole project. So what do y'all think about the album as like a whole as we like wrap this up?
I mean,
Go ahead, Chris.
I was just gonna say overall, I really think that this is a good project. I don't really know if I'm gonna go back to it. I kind of left this project with my first reaction when I first finished it, I was like, I want to go listen to like I'm Different or Bands and Make Her Dance for some reason. Like, I guess maybe because I have like memories with those songs, or that's when I was really getting into 2 Chainz. But I didn't really leave this project feeling like I wanted to go back personally. But I do think it's a good project. I think that like if I were to discover 2 Chainz now, this would be a good introductory project to like figuring out who 2 Chainz is and kind of what it is, especially if you're already like in the younger generation listening to some of the newer guys like the Durks and the stuff. I think that would be a good way, and then go back into his catalog. But overall, I mean, I gave the project, it landed at a 4 on 5 for me. I fucked up on the math and I'm just giving it what I think I'm giving it.
Awesome.
So it's a 4 on 5. is dope. I do think the beats are banging, the flows are great, the features are great, everything about it's great. I guess it's just like, I don't know.
It's not for
I
you,
love,
Chris. Just say it's not for me.
yeah, it's not for me. I don't want to
Sheesh.
say it because I do like 2 Chainz, but
You can
it's
also
not
not
for
like
me.
the project. How do you feel, Bonnie? Remember, Chris isn't a pretty girl.
I know. So I gave this a 4.38 on 5, so that's at 87.6%. So I liked it. I thought that there was, a cohesiveness to like the whole album. I definitely liked for me, I definitely found like the first couple of songs like really like hit you harder than maybe like the full album does. Like not every song is a banger, like not every one is my favorite. But there are definitely good songs on here, and I think it's a good showcase of his work, and I appreciate that he helps to elevate other artists along with him. So that's cool.
So yeah, it's because earlier in the project, we were talking about trap music just in response to the comment before I say my stuff, and I said, well, me and Bonnie are pretty girls because pretty girls like trap music is a 2 Chainz project, and Chris is clearly not a pretty girl, and that was my running joke. So Chris has proven again that he's clearly not a pretty girl, which is okay. I'm a pretty girl though. I love this project. This project's amazing.
He's a pretty boy. He likes different music.
It's a pretty amazing fucking project, is all I'm saying. What I was really left with is like, there's this big question to what old man, mature, growing ass hip hop sounds like. Sounds like this. 2 Chainz is making old man, growing up, mature ass hip hop. Like all of this sounds like good advice mixed with excess, which is kind of cool. Like, who doesn't want to be like that successful where everything in your world is legal, professional, cool, and like, you don't hear about drama on this album. You don't hear about problems on this album. You hear about a guy who is winning in fucking life, okay? And then he's giving
you
back.
never really hear about problems, period.
He's just,
like, I haven't heard a problem with 2 Chainz lately.
no, I meant like I guess his drama. But all he does on this album, on top of that, is just give back. Like every slot was given to somebody who he was trying to elevate in the game, as opposed to, layering it with legends or hanging out in the old man club, which is really brilliant to keep yourself relevant because, I mean, come on, like Chris just said, young people going to be more into 2 Chainz over that. The other side is it's kind of what you're supposed to do, I think, as an older artist. And I think he's really emulating or setting an example to emulate. And it makes me just respect 2 Chainz more. Just every time I talk about 2 Chainz, my respect level for him tends to go up. So he's one of my favorite people in the industry. And I highly encourage you to watch him on YouTube if you don't fuck with his music, so you can at least like him in some capacity. Because there's no way
he is a cool
you're
guy.
not going to like him on YouTube. It's impossible. He's too amazing.
100%.
He's one of those people who it's like, shit, I don't want to be a lot
He
of
just
people
does
in
dope
life.
things
But I kind of want to
that
be 2 Chainz.
everybody will appreciate.
Like if I could have his life, that would be really cool. And he smokes a lot of pot too. He's just like vibe. He's just dope. Anyway, I really like this album. It's definitely like I could see this. Like I don't want to call it a classic because I don't really think it's a classic, but it's a really cohesive group of material that's like good for young and old people to listen to. That sounds a lot like pop music, but is actually layered with good advice and messaging. So this is a really good project that should get recognition, whether or not it will, because those Spotify view counts are not crazy right now. Still, I'm glad we listened to it. I'm going to check out as many 2 Chainz' stuff as they come out in the future for this, because he's really become one of my favorite artists, as somebody I respect, so I'm biased as fuck. Yeah, thank y'all for being here with us, though. We appreciate everybody who came through with the live. It was crazy that y'all stuck with us. This is our best live Twitch episode ever. So if y'all watching this in the future on YouTube, twitch.tv/BehindThatSuit, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Come join us.
12 p.m. And we'll be doing this every week. Something. Maybe old albums, maybe hot new albums. Nobody knows. It really depends on what dropped that Friday. All that to say, we're going to be coming back again and again. It feels nice is all I'm saying. Thank y'all also in the future watching, like, comment, subscribe, or whatever. And for the conversation of, would you review this album? Patreon.com/BehindThatSuit. And we can talk over there, yo. It's what it is. So on that note, do you all have any last words for the fine people?
Nope. Enjoy your life.
Dope doesn't sell itself.
Facts. So, yes, you can request some stuff, but first, live long and prosper, everyone.
Bye, guys.